Hey, everybody. Welcome to, what is it? Live at FDIC. This is the Mikey G and Mikey D show. Mike Gagliano.
And Mike Dugan. And I have to tell you, this Live at FDIC podcast is brought to you by Firehouse Subs. The firefighter founded hot sub chain with a passion for hearty and flavorful food, heartfelt service, and public safety. Ready for your next mission? Firehouse Subs is offering firefighters the opportunity to continue to serve after their service, now as restaurant owners. Learn more at www.firehousesubfranchising.com. Thank you, Firehouse Subs, and live from FDIC. It is the Mikey G and Mikey D show.
Man, and we are surrounded by it, huh? I mean, I don't know how the sound guys are doing here, but I don't know if you can hear it, but the halls are filled. The classrooms are full. The vendors just opened up on Thursday afternoon, and they're going strong today. I just had lunch with the boss, and the boss told me that as of about an hour ago, the attendance from last year has already been exceeded. There's still people coming in and going to be here all day Saturday. So FDIC is a big success, Michael, and my back can feel it. I can feel it in my back, man. It's been a long, long week. I don't even know where to start. I mean, I can tell you, let's start where we should start. 35,000+ firefighters in the halls, out in the streets, in the classrooms, at the exhibits, meeting people we haven't seen for, sometimes years. Some folks we've just seen the past couple months. Everybody excited about the craft. Everybody excited about our calling, linking arms, having a good time, getting better at what we do. Michael, it has just been phenomenal.
The numbers are crazy. I was telling someone earlier, I did a Monday morning workshop. And usually the Monday morning, because Monday's the first day, and it's a little on the light side. My numbers were double what they were last year. And everyone's workshop was well attended. They're doing a ton of stuff here. They're doing the hybrid hots today. They're just doing a ton of different things. They're really, really, really putting stuff together. Also today, I did the 9/11 stair climb. And I was very honored because I got a picture of myself with Jack McNamara, whose father worked for me in my firehouse on St. John's East. And Jack's dad died of a 9/11 related cancer. And he did the stair climb wearing his father's gear with the name on the back. And he's now almost as tall as I was. He was 6 years old when his dad died.
Amazing.
So, and I have a picture of myself, Commissioner Cassano, Chief of Department Richardson, Jack, and myself. And his mom saw it, put it out on Facebook, and said that was worth the price to get him to FDIC, just for that. Yeah. And it just meant so much. And seeing the gear go up the stairs for the stair climb with the FDNY logo, the St. John's East logo, and then the name McNamara was very, very emotional.
Yeah, it's almost a testimony, Mike, that evil doesn't get to win. Evil has its impact, but it doesn't get to win. The next generation is picking up the torch, and that's going to be the next generation of the profound and historic FDNY.
Absolutely. And, I mean, it's amazing because the FDNY, I think somebody told me recently that I think it's almost 80% of the job was not on the job when 9/11 happened.
Unbelievable.
So it's just amazing. And, listen, in our job, in our service, the cream of the crop always rises to the top. Always. Wherever you are, whatever you do. I don't care if you're a career, volunteer, firefighter, the cream always rises to the top.
Yeah. Well, and it is no more on display than right here. I am continually blown away by the firefighters who come up and talk about where they're from, what they're doing, what they're trying to do in their firehouse. Coming here to get, a little shot of an energy from a bunch of like-minded folks, who aren't just pissing and moaning all the time and aren't just, saying, the fire service is not what it used to be and it's going downhill and we have all these political leaders, and some of that in some places it might be true, and some of you do got suck leadership, and some of you do have challenging political environments, and some of you got run loads that are difficult because population's getting more needy and all that kind of stuff. But here we're talking about getting good at the craft. We're talking about honoring the legacy and all that's been done before us to make our badge mean what it means, the profound thing that it means. And these firefighters from all over the world are coming here, and that's the conversation that's going on. That's what's happening out in the streets. And Mike, I'm continually amazed and stunned and proud to be a part of this epic effort.
It's amazing. And I got to say, the sharing of knowledge and everything else. I was doing a little something with Lifeline Hose and just doing a demonstration. And a friend of mine from the Missouri Fire Academy came over and said, wow, this would be amazing for decon if your people didn't have to wear an air pack during decon and could be breathing air. And even the owner of the company goes, darn, I never thought of that. Innovation and sharing of ideas and thinking outside of the box. It is an amazing thing for us. And it's just a great, great, great place to meet people, talk about things, and see what's working where. Now, it's not always going to work in your department, but, if you're in a small rural community that has 1 and 2 story homes, high-rise classes aren't for you. But there are drills on stretching lines, on getting things. There are skills that you can learn and get at this conference that just, I don't think it's happening anywhere else.
Well, and you said it. The pump's getting primed here. So that firefighter who looks at this little piece of technology and says, hey, did you think about using it this way? It isn't what anybody else had thought of, but because of that guy's experiences, how he viewed the technology, we get the chance to see it through other eyes, and that's how innovation and progress happens. And listen, it's true on every discipline. I can't tell you how, probably it's happened at least 10 times. I've been encouraging people to write articles. I've been encouraging people to think about doing classes. They said, well, hasn't it all been done? How many more search classes do we need? How many more handline classes do we need? Do we need to know more about throwing ladders? What's the answer?
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, man. We haven't seen it through your eyes. We haven't seen it the way you do it.
None of us has ever had an original idea. It's all working on something else that someone before us brought to the table. And we look, we refine, we work, we play, we master, and we get better. By working together at this profession, we get better. By drilling, by practicing, by being a part of this, we get better. And it's just an amazing thing that we do.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about something that Michael and I are here doing. We're doing our own classes, obviously, and doing all the different stuff. Michael's going to go join the stair climb folks. We're doing radio shows and tons of stuff. We are here with the Firefighter Air Coalition, and if you have not checked out the Firefighter Air Coalition, I would appreciate it after you get done listening to this if you go to aircoalition.com, aircoalition.org, aircoalition.org, and just check out all the awesome stuff that's happening on that website. Things from air management, things to do with fire smoke and the components of fire smoke. And we just did a piece, Paul Combs and I did a 2-pin perspective on the toxic twins, on hydrogen cyanide and carbon monoxide. You can get that on Firefighter Nation, on online, Fire Engineering Online. We're talking about technologies. Mike talked to you a little earlier. Lifeline Fire Hose. Go check out those guys. Go check out Firefighter Air Replenishment Systems, the air standpipe. Transformational, man, in big box and large size structure fires. Firefighter Cancer. Seen a couple compelling presentations on cancer today. And even with Firefighter Death, this isn't necessarily Air Coalition, but we watched an amazing presentation on organ donation. I mean, it was breathtaking, man, at opening ceremonies, this beautiful family and the firefighter the firefighter perished in a training situation. And what, 3 kids, 4 kids, something like that?
2 kids, a boy and a girl.
Yeah, wife did an amazing presentation. So much so, they showed a video clip of there's 8 people that are alive today because that guy was an organ donor. They showed a video clip of the wife who was doing the speaking, and the 2 kids listening to their father's heart beat in the guy who's alive now. It was profound.
And if you want to find out about that, it's billymoonfoundation.org. Just an amazing thing. Just go Billy Moon. An amazing thing. Organ donation is huge. As a matter of fact, Christina Moon caused me to check my license because of the new flying. I had to get an enhanced license, which I got. But I said, you know what? I never looked to see if the organ donation
I still need to get by May.
And the organ donation was on there. And I'm like, oh, good. The thing is still on my license. Go. Have that difficult conversation. Talk to people about that. Very honestly, in our profession, talk to people about that all the time. It is something that is so vital. And it's just a part of all of the things that we see here. We're learning about organ donation. We're learning about cancer. We're learning about things you can do. The best thing that an old firefighter can teach a young firefighter is how to become an old firefighter, how to get through this job, and how to do it. And the other thing we have to talk about is mental health and getting through it with your fire family and your family intact so that you have something to do when it is time to retire. You have someone who loves you and wants to spend time with you. Okay? It is vitally important that we talk about these things, and we talk about them with the young kids. Christina Moon has talked to, I think it's 7 or 8 probie classes in the FDNY, and there wasn't a probie that opted out of organ donation. Now, some people might opt out for religious reasons or other things. Understandable. But saving another person's life. We are firefighters. We live to make a rescue. Well, if in dying, when it's your time, you can make a rescue of another person, it's an amazing thing.
Case of Billy, 8 of them.
8 of them.
Yeah,
8
8
of them.
saves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just amazing stuff. So this FDIC has been epic. It's just been great.
Well, from the Firefighter Air Coalition perspective, so it's air management, it's fire, smoke, and cancer. So a lot of presentations on cancer. We're linking with the other organizations that are helping. The technology side of things, I talked about firefighter air replenishment systems, air standpipe, Lifeline fire hose, Arctic compressor is a sponsor. They're all in one. They're that energy machine they have with the air refill and the generator, and it's all electric. So, you folks that are concerned about the environment, they got that dialed in. Bauer, incredible company, Bauer Compressor, doing many great things. And Shambaugh and Sons have been real solid in donating. And this year we didn't mess around, did we?
No, sir.
We were trying to figure out what donations we were going to do at our booth and what giveaways we were going to do. And there's 1,000 things you can give away. All cool, little gifts, whatever, pictures and books and all that. And we even did some of that. But this year, as many of you know, we sponsored with some of our folks the Firefighter Air Coalition FDIC Scholarship. We're giving away 20 free rides to FDIC 2026. And I think we've given away so far, 12 of them. We gave away 4 before the show. I think we've given away 8 during the show. There's one was happening at 3 o'clock with Taylor Tins. Taylor Tins sponsored one of our scholarships. And then we're going to give away one a month all the way through till, I believe, September. And giving away a few at the conferences that I'll talk about when I get done with this. Gang, here's what it all comes down to. The Firefighter Air Coalition wants to find ways to motivate you, inspire you, educate you, and train you in all aspects of firefighter air. Here's the way we like to think about it. More air, more time. The more air you have, the better you're able to use your air, the better you've trained on your air you are. The air resupply that we can get you, either through, the air standpipe or through good relays, however we do it, the more air we get you, the more time you have. You have more time to fight the fire, more time to search for people who are in trouble, more time to actually rescue those people when you find them, more time to vent, more time to overhaul, and if we're lucky, more time when you finally lay down your coat and you're into your retirement age, that you're not having to suffer the impacts of so many smoke exposures that have taken down so many brothers, sisters in the past. So remember that when you think of the Firefighter Air Coalition. More air, more time, and it's Mike and I's commitment to you, along with all of the team in the Air Coalition, that we are going to bring you the brightest and best from across the nation to give you the tools you need to do a great job. We're going to do that through training seminars. And so up on our little screens here for the folks who are bringing things up, we're going to do the Fire Inside Conference. And that's going to be in June. You can get all of the details on aircoalition.org. There it is up on the screen, so you can scan the little QR code there and register and sign up. And we're going to start putting all kinds of information up on that conference. Got some incredible instructors lined up for you. Here's the nuts and bolts of the Fire Inside Conference. The Fire Inside Conference is intended for interior attack, bread and butter fires, and for the fire inside of the firefighter to actually do the stuff the way it's supposed to be done. And if I go, we'll talk about the big building one in September, but in June, we just want to go to bread and butter and do it in the right way.
And we're just talking about fire inside. You're going in to attack the fire. Listen, firefighter air and all of this stuff, the cancer, nobody wants you not to go in and fight the fire. Right. They want you to go in, fight the fire as best you can, and get out quickly if you do the job right. So you limit your exposure, but come out, decon, clean your gear, clean yourself. Yep. These are all things that we want to do, and we want to make you better at doing it. So going into a fire, nobody's saying don't do this. We are saying do this as best you can and train yourself for this and get better at doing your job so we can do that. And that's the Fire Inside. And that's June 23rd through 25th outside of Dallas in the Dallas County in Texas.
Yep, we're teaming up with Chief Robert Fight and the Grand Prairie Fire Department, our good friends there. And we're going to bring you 8, 10, 12, 15 of the best instructors in the world. You can get online there and see what the itinerary is going to be. And I hope you'll come check it out. We are going to have a blast. We're going to have a really, really good time. And we're going to follow on. So that's bread and butter fires. We're going to follow on in September with the second go-round of Fire in the Sky. We already did one Fire in the Sky. Pretty good time, huh?
Oh, it was an amazing thing. And we did the first one in September in Texas, out in the Woodlands area outside of Houston. It was an amazing show. Unfortunately for me, I have a family commitment. I will not make that one. But I am walking the walk that I talk the talk. I am putting family first. Yep. I am getting together at a family reunion. Yep. So I won't be able to make that. So, but it's going to be a great thing and with great people, and it's going to be a learning experience, and it's very affordable.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, both conferences, gang, 3 full days. When you look at the rosters, you will see that we left no stone unturned to bring you the brightest and the best from across the nation. And this is great news because I just got it confirmed right before I came to FDIC. Fire in the Sky, I am going to be able to have Chief John Norman back. Got Dave McGrail coming back to do high-rise stuff. We got a beautiful lineup set up for you. You're going to have a great time. At Fire Inside, I wanted to lead it off with just someone I thought was just phenomenal. And so Brian Brush is going to lead off Fire Inside for us, and it's just going to set the stage for a wonderful show. So here's what I hope it does. You can talk a game or you can walk a game. We're going to walk it. And by walking it, I mean we have committed to bringing training to the nation on all things tactics and firefighter air, more time. The best way we know to do that, let's just bring the brightest and the best and have them train you up, send you back fired up to your own home to have a good time. That's not the only things we're doing. We're working on fire training. I hope you saw the. Do we have the More Air, More Time brochure up there? If you guys would pull that thing up, More Air, More Time. That is, as it pops up onto the screen, that is the supplement that we collaborated with Fire Engineering. And you can see on the front cover of that baby, you can see that smoke can that's an illustration designed by Paul Combs. We put this supplement, it is attached with all of you cool kids who subscribe to Fire Engineering. You get a copy of this for free with every Fire Engineering magazine. We printed up 4,000 of them for all the folks at the booth, the Firefighter Air Coalition booth who wanted one. Michael, you're getting rave reviews for our little supplement, brother, and probably no surprise when your authors for the supplement are Mike Champo, Jimmy Davis, Michael Dugan, Tom Merrill, and Daniel DeYear from Dallas. I was picking from the top shelf to make this little supplement as good as it could be. And, brother, the reviews have been off the charts.
Off the charts, but it's also vital information. I mean, Mike Champo talks about his journey with wearing a mask and ending up in a mask for his chemotherapy and radiation, and the differences in the masks. And maybe in our early days, unfortunately, myself included, we probably didn't take care of ourselves as well as we should have. So maybe now, salty is no longer sexy.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's important that we understand to get this stuff off our skin so we can get there. Tommy Merrill and I did one on big structures coming to small towns, because they are all over small town America, where they are close to highways, where land is cheap and regulation is not as stringent as big cities.
Right.
And we are getting people coming into all of these places, and they're building these mega structures. I mean, some of them are almost over 1 million square feet footprint. And it's insane. If you look at some of the pictures that were taken in some of these things, you can't see in the picture the other end of this building.
Yeah.
Now imagine stretching a hose line through that.
Yeah.
And the one place I know, the structure that is built is 1,000,002 square feet. And the fire department that protects it has 26 members. And it's a volunteer fire department. They're a good fire department. They're a great fire department. But 1,000,002 square foot with 5 levels inside.
Right.
That's insane.
Unbelievable.
That's insane things. And if you look, there's a lot of research that went into this, finding out how many of these were built in the United States in the past year. And it's incredible how many buildings over 250,000 square feet were built in the United States. And that was completed last year.
Yeah.
Completed, not started, completed. It's nuts.
Yeah, Mike and Tom Merrill, was he president of one of the volunteer fire councils or whatever? I don't remember. Tommy has written just the seminal book on the volunteer fire service. I mean, it's flying off the shelves at the bookstore over here. And what a beautiful, great, wonderful man. You know, just as a human being, a great man. They tag teamed on this article. They focused on here's what's coming for you and the challenges and to be prepared for it. And then Daniel DeYear followed up with an actual case study of a Samsung warehouse that went in Texas. Gang, the combo of those articles, I mean, when I was reading them and editing them, just breathtaking in scope of what you need to be prepared for and what the reality of it is. And in Daniel's piece, he goes through, I mean, there's a whole city was built to build this thing. So a whole community came up. Guess how many extra firefighters you get for these? 0. You get the fire department that you have to fight these monster warehouses and this enormous city that is erected around the construction. I think Daniel said at one point there were like buildings, there's like 300 buildings just to house people and all the tools and all the stuff that they needed, plunked into a little community with, a fire department that's got 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 firefighters. And then eventually that city is going to pick up and leave. and you're left with a million and a half square foot building with robots and chemicals and amazing amounts of stock and combustibles. And there you are. You don't get another firehouse. You don't get more firefighters. There you are. Got to be getting ready for them. Got to be prepared for them, strategically and tactically what you're going to do, and at least have some conversations about what you're not going to do, what you're not going to commit yourself to.
And the other thing you have to think about when these things are coming to you, you have to be proactive. You have to get involved. You have to get yourself a seat at the table. If you are not at the table, you are on the menu. Okay, and these places come, as Chief Diaz says in his article. They didn't have fire hydrants.
Right.
How are you going to fight this fire in all of these buildings? How are you going to do this? You have to get the infrastructure here. You have to hold their feet to the table. One of the things we talk about in our article is if you get a warehouse that's supplying an online retailer and you don't negotiate before you give them a C of O, you're never going to get in there for a drill because they don't have to let you in there for a drill. If you don't negotiate this beforehand, they're working 24/7. If you don't say you have to shut down one time a year or two times a year for 4 hours for a complete walkthrough drill, for a full-scale operational drill, it's never going to happen. They're never going to say, oh, no. The company won't allow us. Oh, you're not going to give us a CO for this if we don't. Well, you have to agree to this beforehand.
Right.
And it has to be working in the schedule of the department. I guarantee you these online retailers will want you to schedule the drill on 4th of July or Christmas Day. That ain't happening. Okay, so you have to get a seat at the table. You have to demand things. One I know of, the chief went to bat and fought for his department. There wasn't enough water. The thing was supplied by a 6-inch main. He got 2 1 million gallon water tanks outside the building for the fire department's water supply. A brilliant move. But you got to have it now. You got to be involved in that. Okay, if you are anywhere north of Florida, okay, you got to have what's the freeze protection? Yeah. What's the temperature protection? Is the water heated? What's the temperature we allow it to get to before the heaters kick on? You got to heat up 1 million gallons of water. You're going to have some kind of a system in there. It's going to have to be monitored. It's going to have to be. So this is all stuff that you have to think about. And again, it's easy not to, and it's easy to hide your head in the sand. But then when something happens and somebody gets hurt, it's going to be on you.
Yeah. The supplement is very reflective of our 4 pillars at the Firefighter Air Coalition. So again, throughout the publication, you're reading about air management. It's one of our pillars. Training in air management, being good at air management, the technological side of it. There's technology in our supplement. So Jimmy Davis did an incredible article on the challenges of ascending a stairwell, the physiological stuff, but also just the strategic and tactical implications of having to go, a football field in the sky and try to not only get equipment there, but move your people around and the impacts physiologically and the fatigue on the firefighters and the reflex time. It's a brilliant article. So you have Champo's article on his journey with his idea of which mask do you want to wear? Do you want to wear this one on your back, or do you want to wear the one they put on you when you're going through radiation and laser type of training, therapy, and those types of things? The ending of his article is heartbreaking. I mean, such an accomplished guy, such a good guy, done so much for the fire service, and to think that your career not only is ended in the way that you didn't want it to end, that you're not even sure you're going to survive to see the end of your career, and to end it, as he put it, just kind of, it's so poignantly and sadly, there's no big retirement party at the firehouse. There's no this because you're gone and you're in light duty and you're doing all this other stuff. Some real implications of the downstream effects of smoke. And Mike said it. Look, back in the day when we didn't necessarily know, what are you going to do? We got to fight fire. We do what we're going to do. We know now. We know what the smoke does. We know it'll kill you. We know it'll it'll poison you, and it'll asphyxiate you, and it'll disorient you, and it'll make you do wackadoo things on the inside, and it'll get you lost, and it can kill you inside there, and it's certainly downstream of the actual fire can have incredibly damaging results, not only just to your long-term health, but even to your ability to survive into a good and healthy retirement. Throughout that supplement, which I'm very proud of on behalf of our team, I hope you'll pick one up. If you go to aircoalition.org, we will provide an electronic link for those of you who can't get a physical copy. The physical copies were flying off the shelf. I don't know if we even have any left. We printed 4,000, but I think they're gone. But we will provide an electronic copy for you to have to train your firefighters moving forward. Another document I want to really talk about is the National Volunteer Fire Council's Family Guide. And we at the Air Coalition are very invested in anything we can do to support families, anything we can do to provide information that's going to help. Obviously, since I'm a part of the Air Coalition, Ann and I have been involved in the firefighter marriage classes, the book Challenges of Firefighter Marriage. And in conjunction with that, we supported the National Volunteer Fire Council to help them with their brand new edition of their Family Guide. I think my AV guys are bringing that up on screen right now. And even if you can't really see it or can't see a link, you can go to the National Volunteer Fire Council's website. I think they will provide you this guide for free. So, the backbone of the American Fire Service, volunteer fire service, right?
Amen.
This is a wonderful resource that you can provide to your firefighters for their families to help them navigate some of the challenges that are naturally going to come from doing the profession that we do and then trying to live in a happy relationship, a happy home, as happy parents, and the whole 9 yards. So really hope you'll check that out. We have enjoyed partnering with the Volunteer Fire Council. It's been a wonderful thing. It's not only the family guide, but because we're interested in air and big structures, we have been talking to them about what's it like for smaller departments going to warehouses. And you and Tom Merrill did a webcast on it. I've done a bunch of stuff just trying to educate the volunteer fire community on lower staffed big box. Yeah,
Absolutely. And, very honestly, and I said it earlier, if you don't get a seat at the table, you're on the menu. And what I mean by that is if you don't ask for things, there was one where a tornado hit one in, I think, Illinois, and 6 people died in the warehouse. Now, there wasn't one-way voice communication. There wasn't a PA system to tell the people because the employees are not allowed to bring their cell phones in. So if you don't have a seat at the table, if you're not getting these things, you're not getting someone to be in that space, to be in charge, you're not having someone meet you. It could be any kind of warehouse, any kind of big space. Where is the ambulance going? How are we getting to that injured person? Okay. We could drive around the building for a week and not find what bay door we have to go to. These are all important things that we have to get to in our fire departments when these things are coming by us, when these things are coming to us. It's so important that we have something there.
Yeah, I am amazed at what's being expected of such low-staffed firehouses and fire departments. And so you have our commitment that as best we can, we're going to provide you the brightest and the best to talk about how we can strategically and tactically respond to those incidents. And, internally within our supplement and in all the training material that we're building is the whole idea of air management. And in the air management world, which, candidly, I'm very familiar with, there's something that we didn't talk about as much that in the next edition of the book we will, and it's this simple idea. You can have all the training in air management that you want, but if you don't have air to manage, it's a waste of time. You don't have anything to manage, right? That's why we at the Air Coalition are so proud to really talk strongly and advocate for firefighter air replenishment systems, the air standpipe. And when you read Jimmy Davis's article in the supplement, you're going to see how valuable that's going to be. When you read Champo's article on cancer stuff, you're going to see how valuable it is to at least have some ability to get air in large structures. Because if we don't, and Michael has lots of experience with this, I have some experience with this, If we don't have air readily available, it's going to put us in the position of having to cut corners, and we're going to have to go off air. And because of things like the stack effect, because of things like open doors, trying to get hand lines into hallways, you're going to have smoke in your stairwell. You're going to have contaminated stairwells. You're going to have smoke rising up, and depending on how hot it is outside and what the dynamics in the building are, you're going to have smoke stratifying at various levels. And a dirty stairwell is quite common once you start fighting the fire. Sometimes it's quite common before you start fighting the fire, because a lot of our smokes now, look around our little studio here. I mean, I know the guys did a good job. It looks like brick. It looks like mortar. It's all a bunch of plastic. It's all a bunch of veneers. This table's veneers. Matter of fact, the only, I think, natural product in this entire room is Mike and I's carcass. And even that's going to smoke when it's on fire. Okay? Gang, I hope you will check out FARS. I hope you will check out the air standpipe. Very, very much like the water standpipe that you're familiar with. And exactly the same theory. We needed water in upper floors. We got together a long time ago and we devised a water standpipe where water comes in at the street up through fixed piping, and you get it at floor 7, 8, 9, 15, 18, 50, 60, whatever. You don't have to haul it up the stairs or try to create your own water lane up the stairs. Air standpipe's exactly the same thing. Air in the street, through fixed piping, and it delivers to panels that you use a transfill hose to fill your second bottle. You don't have to go off air. You don't have to go find a staging area that probably isn't even set up in the early stages of the fire, and you have the air right where the action is happening, right where you had to stop your search, right where you had to move out of the handline attack, right where you were doing a rescue. Game changer, gang, and I hope you'll check that out along with Lifeline Fire Hose. Lifeline Fire Hose is amazing. Hook up to the air supply, whether it's bottles on a cart or to the FARS system, and at the very end of the nozzle, with your buddy breathing connection, you click in, you got a 4, 6, 8 foot hose there, and you can actually be on air while you're fighting the fire, while you're doing overhaul, the whole 9 yards. Gang, we don't have time to talk about all the cool things about the technology. We just want to kind of prick your interest a little bit and get you excited about it. Everything we talked about, you can find out about at aircoalition.org. You can reach out to Michael and I personally on whatever social media page that we're connected as friends on, or contacts or whatever, and we can put you in contact with all that stuff. We're running out of time. I think what Mike and I wanted to do is we're kind of overwhelmed by the FDIC environment. A bunch of our friends we're in a fishbowl here, and a bunch of our friends are walking by waving, and we're seeing students that we had in class. We wanted to close it out with just a few words about somebody who we wish was sitting right here with us, and we will do our best. I have no guarantees that we'll continue to be able to talk once we start, but Mike, this whole FDIC, from David Rhodes on the stage to what we did in classes, this FDIC was dedicated to our friend Bill Gustin. Billy, we are thinking about you, and I just want you to know, friends out there, there's been nobody in the written word and articles that has impacted me like Bill Gustin has. And I have read everybody, and lots of people impact me. I could tell you when a Bill Gustin article hit Fire Engineering Magazine, that is the very first thing that I read. I have read everything that Bill Gustin has written. He has impacted me as an individual. He has impacted me as a strategist and a tactician. He's motivated me to want to be a better firefighter than I was. He's encouraged me to be a good follower and to be respectful in how I treat my leadership and how I treat people with whom I disagree. He's tried to help me tone down some of the rougher edges, I guess, if you will. And absolutely an incredible icon in the fire service, and the fire service will never be the same because of what he has given.
I agree wholeheartedly. Bill Gustin was a friend. He was my partner on the Hump Day Hangout, and I will miss him. But I have come to the point where I have to live in his legacy, because I can't live in his loss. I won't be able to do that because how deeply I felt it. But I will live in his legacy because he always was a student of the game, was learning. He was a part of everything we did, and he questioned everything. And one of the things that I loved about Bill Gustin is most firefighters hate change. And he used to come to me and say, Michael, Captain Mike, if the FDNY can change, any department in the country can change. Are you kidding me? If the FDNY can do that, we can do that. And that was just the way he was. He embraced change. He embraced questioning the norm. He embraced being better. And it was such a huge part of who he was. And he was such a dear friend. And I will miss him dearly. But I will tell you that Bill Gustin's legacy was question, learn, live, teach, and get better. Okay? Get better at what we do because it is such a thing. Now, one of the statements I made about Bill Gustin that I personally use as one of my things now, Bill Gustin is now a killer bee. And the killer bees to me are Tommy Brennan, who always went by Brennan, Bruno, Alan Brunacini, who went by Bruno, Bobby Halton, who went by Bobby, and Bill Gustin, who went by Bill. The killer bees. That is the Mount Rushmore of the American Fire Service. That is what it is like. And Bill is now there with them. They are sitting down at that kitchen table, if anything I believe is true, at that kitchen table, and they are telling jokes, and Bill's walking around probably in his underwear, if he's wearing anything, okay, and just having a great time and giggling at everybody. And I think it's something that we have to understand that, listen, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, all of the people who listen to this, if you are a student of the game, the thing that has always been said, and I've heard Tommy Brennan say it, I've heard Patty Brown say it, you can never train enough for a profession, whether you are volunteer, career, paid on call, it doesn't matter. You are a professional. You can never train enough for a profession that could kill you. Train. And when you train in Bill Gustin's memory. Train in Bill Gustin's memory. It is such a big thing. That it's such a thing that he would want us to do.
Yeah, I would. As we move towards a close, I couldn't say it better. Bill was inspirational in that there was no task too small, there was no task too big. And I want to provide you an encouragement, not just only from the folks at FDIC, from us at Fire Engineering, the board, from the Firefighter Air Coalition, from just Mike and I personally. Like Bill, we believe in you. I hope that you will read what Bill Gustin wrote, and I hope it will inspire you to want to do this great calling in the way it was meant to be done. And remember, not only is it important to train for a profession that can kill you, we are training as individuals and as a team to get into the very worst day of people's lives where there is no do-overs. You don't get to practice. You don't get to get on your phone and look at the 5 ways to fight a fire or how to cut a car or how to cut a roof or whatever. You have to know it when you get there. To prepare and hone your skills to such a standard of excellence that when chaos erupts in the middle of the night and people are screaming and they're terrified and things are burning, you actually come with a group of fellow brothers and sisters, and like Bill Gustin did for the entirety of his career, you show up no matter who it is, no matter where it is, and you provide that chaos with some answers, and you give those people the very best chance that they're going to have of surviving the worst day of their life. Billy, man, you are healthy, you are whole, and I cannot wait to see you again, brother. This FDIC was for you, and you would have been proud. And from us, from the Firefighter Air Coalition, from Fire Engineering, David Rhodes and Diane Rothschild, all the folks that work so hard. I hope you enjoyed the Mikey G and Mikey D show live from FDIC. I hope you will check out aircoalition.org. We would love to talk to you about more air, more time. Michael, it's been a blast.
And I will just sign off the way Bill Gustin always did. God bless you and keep you safe in our most noblest of professions.
God bless everybody.
Thank you.